new details about the ambush that killed 3 members of the same Pennsylvania Police Department as grief grips a York County community.
This is my home. This is our home. We've gone through a lot this year. We've been at podiums like this too many times. And when you go through that, when you go through these sorts of things, it can seem very, very dark and dire. And you can begin to lose faith and hope. And I'm going to tell you, last night, there were a lot of us feeling that way, and I personally was too.
Authorities moved to tears as we find out what happened in the final moments of a murderous rampage by a suspected stalker. The 10 o'clock news starts now. Heartbreak in North Codorus Township. From community members to police, the small rural community more than 100 miles outside of Philadelphia is working to heal after losing 3 members of the same police department in the line of duty yesterday. Tonight, those northern York County regional police officers are being identified, and one of them used to patrol the streets here in Philadelphia. This is the 10 o'clock news. I'm Jason Martinez.
I'm Sheba Russell. 2 more officers are still in the hospital tonight. The York County District Attorney detailing a timeline today of the series of events that led up to the shooting. He also identified the fallen officers. The DA says 53-year-old Detective Mark Baker, 39-year-old Detective Sergeant Cody Becker, and 43-year-old Detective Isaiah Emenheiser. They were all shot and killed by 24-year-old Matthew James Ruth with an AR-style rifle. York County officials say all 3 slain officers were longtime veterans of the nearly 70-officer force with almost 6 decades of combined service.
While the violence erupted yesterday, the DA says interactions with the shooter began the day before at his ex-girlfriend's home. Police were called to the house Tuesday after she reported the shooter had been stalking her and her family, hanging around her home wearing camouflage, peering inside with binoculars, even holding a rifle. The ex-girlfriend and her mother fled the house for their safety after officers were unable to find Ruth Tuesday night. Police following up yesterday with arrest warrants, 6 officers scouring the property with a drone. That's when they noticed the door to the home was unlocked. The officers wearing bulletproof vests opened it and were immediately ambushed.
And this kind of detail in particular, when you're talking about a warrant, is some of the most absolute dangerous work our police officers do.
I personally knew them very, very well. They were wonderful. They were mission-driven, and that day they continued their mission. Well, their mission is now complete.
Another northern York County regional police detective and a York County sheriff's deputy were wounded. Investigators say the shooter was killed during an exchange of gunfire. They also say Ruth shot and killed his ex-girlfriend's family dog.
And tonight, Detective Mark Baker is being remembered for his time as a police officer here in Philadelphia, starting in the 25th District in Kensington. The Philadelphia Police Union honoring his memory in the wake of this tragedy. Our Steve Keeley has more.
That hits home.
Hit home and hearts of all Philadelphia police as the news came that a former colleague here in Philly, Detective Mark Baker, was among the 3 killed in the York County ambush.
When we have any officer that lose their life, but mainly someone that we have worked with in the city of Philadelphia. Mark was a very honorable police officer for the years he was here. He started his career in the 25th District. He then moved to Highway Patrol. And after 3 years of spending time in Philadelphia, he made that decision to go to York County to serve there for the past 20-plus years. Knowing Mark and knowing now what happened, it just breaks our heart.
And still, after all that time, Mark Baker left a lasting impression back here in Philly.
I know a lot of officers that did work with Mark, and there was nothing but glowing things about him, his personality, how he was as an officer the 3 years that he spent here with us. And information that we got from officers in York County, the same response. He was loved by everyone.
And now Mark's murder reminds officers that whether here on the city streets or even way out in the country farm fields, that dreaded domestic case is the constant, a common denominator of danger to all those who swear an oath and wear a badge.
And to be called for a domestic job is one of the worst calls there is in law enforcement because it is so unexpected what's going on there.